here, when they're still in France, they're still trying to justify it. They're still trying to hide it. Not in Africa anymore. I have a story for you about that. You know Vincent Bolloré. Vincent Bolloré is among the richest men of the country. He is among the 10 guys that own France for me. He got richer by taking control of all the ports in West Africa, by giving money to the president with corruption, by helping them with their campaign. And when they get president, they give him
A port.
a port. It's a word when you help me, I
scratch your back.
Voilà, I scratch your back. So the way they scratch his back is to give him the port, okay? And recently he obtained the port of Guinea, also a country in Africa, and donc so by sponsoring the president campaign, and then when he got elected, he gave him the ports. So there's been an international scandal, and the paper Le Monde, journal Le Monde, came there and asked the president freshly elected, Alpha Condé, if there's been malversation, there's been corruption, there's been okay, and the man said, well, Vincent Bolloré is a friend, and it's normal to me to help a friend. That's all. The man is not even trying to lie. You understand? He's not even trying to lie. Are you a thief? Yeah. What we do now? Don't know. Want a glass of water?
No, but it's
That's why I say we are better. We are more impressive. They're not trying to lie anymore. They're not trying to lie.
they're not trying to lie. It's one thing, but I think you cannot beat white people at corruption. This is, I mean, like colonization. I come from India, and we were colonized by the British, and the British were so amazing at this thing that they changed the rules of world economy. They in fact made the economy, and then the Americans took it over. They created the rules of the world we live in so that it benefits them.
Yeah.
So the level of corruption the white people from the siècle des Lumières
Bien sûr.
did, you cannot undo that so easily.
Yeah.
So
You cannot match them so
yeah,
easily.
so our president from Guinea,
Yeah.
he's like playing with peanuts.
Yes. Of course.
I mean,
compared to them.
Yes.
Compared to that, I
And-
agree. I totally agree on that. What I was trying to say in my stand-up is just that we are corrupted too in Africa. There is a way to corrupt us because we are corrupted.
Everybody's corrupt.
We are corrupted. So we are corrupted. That's what I was trying to say in my stand-up, because it's really important. It's not always about the white man that came and took all the resources. It's also about the black man, which is corrupted, and because he's corrupt, there is a possibility for the white man to do so. Okay?
No, of course, I agree with you. And I like that point because, I mean, it's not just one-sided.
Yes.
I mean, you are both sides responsible.
yes.
If you were colonized, half of the problem is yours.
Bien sûr, of course.
And this is something which people don't like to hear.
yes. And that's why I was trying to say
That I
this.
agree with you.
Because it's important. It's not always about the white man, the big bad white man. No. The black man is corrupted too, and we have to say it.
No, that is for sure. And this is one thing which I've not heard many black people say that.
Yeah. This is why the video of the stand-up works a lot on Facebook, because one more time I was talking from the heart, and I was trying to say the truth without taking any side. I was just trying to analyze a situation precisely and to give my point of view on it. That's what I was just trying to do, like a comedian, so by provocating, of course, and so and so.
But even then, like if I go to a deeper level, the how it is rigged is like truqué. How the whole system is truqué.
Yeah.
Is like the system which we are working in.
Yeah.
It is so corrupt, and the corruption benefits the countries which are not
Yeah,
us.
I fully agree on it. They create their own rules. They create a world which only benefits to them, and we're still living in that world. Let's take, for example, the franc CFA. No, franc CFA, African money. They changed it. They changed the name. They're trying to call it ECHO now. But behind this, there is still a corrupted president, Alassane Ouattara, who is working for Emmanuel Macron, who is taking Ivory Coast resources. They have woods, they have cacao, chocolate, which fully is they are fully providing France, and that is really amazing. We have to change the whole world if you want to have a chance.
I think the economic aspect which you are saying, it's obvious.
Yes.
But what is even more sinister is they have corrupted. They have done this in the education system.
Yeah.
And the whole education system is created to make white men,
Yeah.
even if you are brown or black or
Yeah.
anything.
Mm.
They want to make you think like white men.
Yeah.
So finally, you will always be a second class white man.
Yeah, but it's not working anymore, as you can see right now in the world we are living in. It's not working anymore. Let me tell you why. Because now we have internet, so we have many people that can give many kind of point of view on internet. You can do some researches. You can learn from yourself. You can provide your own information, so you can create your own state of mind. It's possible to do that. If you don't have your own state of mind in the world we are living, it's your fault, because you didn't search, you didn't try to learn, you just took the information as like they were given to you. Okay, it's your duty when you have an information to search from it, to say, okay, I'm a see someone else, I'm a listen to someone else, make my own point of view. Okay, it's really important right now. We can see, and many people are able to see now, the limits of the Occidental system, of the European system, and as we see those limits, we are going back to our culture, to who you are. In French, we say repli identitaire.
This whole identity, how it is framed when cultures go back to their own roots,
Yeah.
how it is framed in the Western media and in the education, which is totally Western.
Yeah.
And it is the education which is in the world, it is to benefit Western people.
Yeah.
It is not to benefit anybody else, and it is basically to destroy the planet.
Yes, but it's not the case anymore. People are really trying to take their own path, to take their own way, and this is a good thing. It's not well seen here now, and it's normal, because
Yes,
we
exactly.
don't want it anymore. So
No, but that's,
if you are angry, we don't care. We don't give a shit.
that's the problem, because in India, there's a whole, they call it right wing, but there is a lot of things behind the government which is happening. But in the Western media, and even in any media which is in English or which you write with Roman letters, you always say, oh, they are becoming nationalistic.
No.
They are trying
to become Indian again. They're not nationalistic, as you say, and let them say that. We don't care, because we do as we want. We do as we want, and I think it's a good thing. I think it's a really good thing. Now the world is changing. It will take, I think, still many years, but I think we are on our way now. I really believe in it. It's not hopeless. No, it's not hopeless. It's not like that. There's been a lot of shits, and we're trying to repair them, and we're trying to go find the best version of ourselves. We're trying to embrace our former culture, and we're trying to go back to our true identity. And I think it's a good thing, and that we should encourage that.
African cultures, they have their own wisdom.
Yes.
They have lived for millions of years.
Yes, of course.
And that wisdom, it's called voodoo, and it's called
Yes.
this and that.
Well, yeah, because the arguments, because they need some argument at the time. The argument at the time to do slavery or colonization, it was
Civilising Misson.
was that we were not civilized, that we were, so it's completely not true, because the African culture was a know-how culture. and because we learn around the fire with I don't know how you say griot in the how you say griot in English. We call it a griot in Africa. Those guys
Tell the stories.
who tell the stories around the fire. They were singing stories, and that's how the child learned. Around the fire with the elder one, they were telling story. They were dancing. They were singing to how do you say transmit?
Transmit.
To transmit, yes, to transmit the knowledge. Yeah, that's the correct word. To transmit the knowledge. It was an oral culture, not a writing one. But since they wasn't able to sow it, they decided that we were animals, and that's not the case. And we are clever enough to understand this now. And since we are seeing the limits of the European system. I mean, look at the European society now. Look at it, man. You can barely keep a wife all your life because since they are free, apparently they have the right to do anything. They have the right to fuck the neighbor, to go when they want to go. They are losing for one reason. They are losing because they don't accept la contrainte. How do you say contrainte?
Constraints.
Yes, they don't accept it anymore. And sometimes to obtain something better, you have to pass through this.
No, it's like you want to play tennis. You remove the net, you remove all the lines, and what will you do?
What we do now?
Because I just saw in Liberation today, the headline is India is moving towards Hitler, nationalistic Hitler. I mean,
No.
India was the biggest democratic exercise. India is not a country. I mean, I asked this question to brag, like what is the population of Benin?
6 million?
6 million.
Maybe
so like
10 million
Bombay is
now.
like 20 million, 25 million.
Yeah.
So it's like India is not a country. It's like a civilization. It's got.
Yes, of course.
It's like the whole European Union.
Of course.
So you cannot, and so many people, they democratically voted. You have, I don't know how many, 800, I don't know the numbers exactly, but it's about 800 million or 500 million. I mean, we'll put it in the comments. Somebody will put it in the comments.
Yeah.
So many people voted to elect this government.
Yeah.
And these people are saying, oh, we are becoming nationalistic and we are becoming Hitler.
Yeah, but they are doing as they always did. So we're not supposed to care about them. We're not supposed to care about what they're saying. They're saying this because they're losing and then don't really like it. I can understand, but we don't really care. And we're not supposed to, We're not supposed to. We're supposed to do what we need to do, what we have to do. We're supposed to go back to our own culture because we don't want your culture anymore. We don't share.
Not everything. I mean, there are
Not
some
everything.
things.
There are good things,
Yes.
but there are some limits that we can that we have to talk about. It's because it's necessary. There is a way to see things that we don't share because this is not our culture.
We are in a hybrid culture, so we cannot throw the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah.
So like we have our babies.
Yes.
Africa has its babies.
Yes.
India has its babies.
Yes.
I mean, we are not going to throw everything and become totally westernized. That's what the British tried to do to India.
Yes.
They wanted to destroy the Indian education.
Of course, and they tried to did the same thing in Africa. They wanted to destroy the African culture, but they missed. So it didn't work. And you know why is it not working now? The main point is because we are seeing the limits of the European system now. It's obvious. We can see it. You can see it on an economic plan. You can see how people live here, how the politician treats the people, how people are angry. Yes, how people are angry, how people are contesting every time.
But I think in Africa, you are seeing it more clearly. In India, there's still a little bit of romance towards the West.
Okay. In Africa, it's different.
It's very clear. I think
Yes,
for
in
you,
Africa, it's very clear for us. It's very clear for us that we don't want that example anymore. We don't want to follow the rules anymore. We want to create our own path, our own way, and no matter what it costs.
no, you will make mistakes, but you will learn from that. It's your
Yeah.
history.
Yeah, I will make mistake, but I will take my own decision, which is the more important point for me, man. Who are you to decide for me?
No, it's like, oh, you are becoming nationalistic. You are going to
Yes,
become
cool.
Hitler.
Yes,
You are
cool.
becoming Hitler.
Yes, I
No, no,
agree.
that's
Thank
your
you.
mistake. You made
Yes.
that mistake. No,
Yes.
we are not going to make that mistake.
Yes.
We know that
Yes.
mistake. We will do our own thing.
Yes.
We may have some problems,
Yes.
but we will learn from it.
Yes. We will make, in French, we say, c'est moi qui fais mes choix, que ce soit les bons ou pas. Okay? I made my own decision whether there are good choices or not. Okay, and I don't need your point of view. You can give me some advice, but then it's my freedom to take it or not, and you have to respect that because you are no one to tell me how what I'm supposed to do in my own life.
I think now there is like in the media, there is a way of saying we don't respect your choices. Like even Trump being elected, or Brexit happening,
Yeah,
it's also a decision of the people,
yeah,
and you have to respect it.
of course.
And that is, I don't agree with Trump. I don't agree with many things which British people are doing. But if you have a country based on democracy and based on, if they elect people, you have to accept
respect
that.
Of course, you have to respect. You can give a point of view on Trump. You can disagree with him. Why not? But you have to respect the choice of American people because he got elected.
But there is like a part of the education media, like this kind of a combination. I think some people in power, they are threatened by this kinds of.
Media is also another problem, and I will talk about it in my next show because it's a real problem. There is I identify a few points, but few important points. First of all, the 10 guys I was talking about, the ten richest men in the country, which own the country, in fact, and since generations, they own the media. The media are not neutral anymore. Here in France, the media are not neutral. Let's talk about it. I mean, each of these 10 guys own a paper, owns a radio chain, and owns a TV.
So like
So they have an impact on what you are reading, what you are listening to, or what you are watching on TV. So tell me about neutrality now.
Libération, for
Yes.
example, it's a left newspaper, left side newspaper,
Yes.
left leaning.
Yes.
Is it owned by one of these people?
Of course, I don't remember the name. I think Libération. We can find it on internet. It's really
So it's
simple.
basically these elite moguls. These are using the left-leaning ideology,
Yeah.
which is completely against what they are,
Yeah.
for entertaining a group of people.
Yes. This is how they own France. Let me explain to you because when you own a media, when you own a radio, when you own a TV, when you own a paper, a newspaper, it's not bringing you money. You're not earning money with it. There is no money in it. So please explain to me why a businessman, someone so clever, so good in the business, will buy something like that since it's not making money. Because you're not buying it to make money. You're buying it to get influence. You see the difference? Because when you own the media, you own the politics. Because
Politicians.
the politicians, because you can boost their image or you can destroy it. Okay, let's look at François Hollande. It's really difficult to be re-elected when your image has been so destructed between your how do you say mandat?
It's during your term.
During your term, it's really difficult to be re-elected. And the election of Emmanuel Macron in France is the proof that there is a system, and it's a proof that it's working. A good campaign is not a good speech in front of the people. A good campaign in French is a well-made dîner with one of those 10 guys, because if they acknowledge you, they will boost your image and they will take you to the presidency, and then you will have to give them what you've been promised.